sabi sa complaint ay may confidential funds na ginamit. At may money trail hanggang sa paglabas ng pera. But the narrative stops there. Dun sa military men. There is no mention that the money landed on the hands of the Vice President. Walang pinakitang ebidensya na ang mga pondong ito ay ginamit sa illegal na pamamaraan. In fact, the same records mention that operational uses such as payment of safe houses, supplies, and other intelligence-related expenses were incurred. Wala namang binanggit na tinanggap ng Vice Presidente yung pera. Kung ganon, the mere movement or withdrawal of funds cannot automatically establish corruption, plunder, or any impeachable offense. Ang kailangan po ay malinaw na ebidensya na ang ginamit na pera ay illegal, ay ginamit sa illegal na pamamaraan. At hindi po ito binanggit sa complaint. At pangalawa po, Madam Chair, the complainants or endorsers of the complaint cannot simply reframe the alleged offense halfway through the process. Kung ang original na teorya ng complaint ay corruption or misuse of funds, hindi pwedeng kapag hindi iyon napatunayan ay bigla na lang itong ililipat sa betrayal of public trust para mag-fit sa anumang ebidensya na available. That would be fundamentally unfair. Hindi pwedeng baguhin ang ground for impeachment depende sa kung anong facts ang lalabas. Sa ganitong sitwasyon, hindi na ito simpleng fishing expedition, parang binabago na mismo ang impeachable offense para lang umangkop sa ebidensya na mayroon ang complainants. At kung papayagan natin iyon, nagiging unpredictable at arbitrary ang standard ng impeachment which undermines the integrity of this process. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Comment from the endorser.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Betrayal of public trust is the ground. Betrayal of public trust, as mentioned earlier, encompasses the other grounds from the culpable violation of the Constitution up to other high crimes and even bribery and graft and corruption. So the Constitution is clear. It is a ground. So whether or not connected ito dun sa other impeachable offenses as alleged, it can stay on its own. It can stand on its own as a specific ground. So either encompassing the others or on its own. And for as long as the alleged facts really depict betrayal of public trust, then that is an impeachable offense. Yung katulad pong, doon naman po sa unang mga sinasabi na that should be proved later, but that is evidentiary already, not at this stage of determination of sufficiency in substance. Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes our deliberation on the second round.
Madam Chair, one point.
This is my second attempt to
Sorry, but just one point.
shift to the third
Very
round.
short lang po.
With the indulgence of the members, this will be the last Justice Member we will be recognizing on the second round. You may proceed, Honorable Ridon.
Well, in the last two grounds, paulit-ulit po binabanggit yung wala daw pong personal benefit, no? Si Vice President Sara Duterte. That is something that will be shown at a future time. But again, to be clear, sa totoo lang, di naman ho kailangan ng personal benefit sa malversation. In fact, marami pong mga nasasakdal ngayon sa Sandigan Bayan. All they did was basically just sign into the disbursement vouchers, sign into the bidding documents. Nakapila ho sila doon ngayon, nakapiit ho sila sa mga kaso on malversation kahit sinasabi na wala ho silang personal benefit. So to insist na kailangan po ng personal benefit on impeachable offenses, parang mali po ata yun, Madam Chair. So again, to be clear, hindi ho required ang personal benefit sa malversation. Yung mere po na pagkakamali or maling paggamit ng pondo po na inilaan ay magko-constitute na po agad ng malversation. Madam Chair.
Madam Chair, just a reply because we have to consider the elements of malversation.
The chair already pronounced that Honorable Ridon will be the last Justice Member to be recognized on the
Just to
second
clarify so that we
round.
don't confuse people. Personal benefit is an
Kindly
element
reserve
of
your
malversation.
manifestations for the succeeding rounds. Order, please.
Okay.
Now we proceed to the third round. The chair will read. Vice President Duterte committed culpable violation of the Constitution and betrayed public trust by corrupting and bribing officials of the Department of Education. Let us now hear the manifestation of the endorser. Honorable De Lima.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So, the third ground is largely based on the statement of facts in relation to Vice President Sara's corruption and bribery of DepEd employees, which is covered by paragraphs 92 to 98, pages 34 to 40 of the complaint. Ang sinasabi po essentially, so ipapakita uli sa screen yung mga specific factual allegations in the complaint. But just to sort of sum it up, ito po ang kwento under this ground. Ito po yung allegation under this ground. Noong September 25, 2024, tumistigo sa Kamara si former DepEd Undersecretary and Head of Procuring Entity, Gloria Humamil Mercado. That's paragraph 92. Ayon sa kanya, mula February hanggang September 23, nakatanggap siya ng 9 na sobre na may label na Hope. Bawat isa ay may lamang 50,000. Karamihan umano ay personal binigay ni Assistant Secretary Sunshine Fajardo na nagsabing ang mga sobre ay direkta umanong nagmula kay VP Sara. Paragraph 93. Noong October 17, 2024, tumestigo rin si DepEd Director 4 at Back Chair Resty Osias na nakatanggap din siya ng 4 na sobre sa pagitan ng April at fourth quarter ng 2023. Bawat isa ay may lamang 12,000 hanggang 15,000 at dumaan din kay Fajarda, paragraphs 95 to 96. Parehong pamamaraan o parehong modus. Noong November 5, 2024, tumistigo naman si DepEd Chief Accountant Runa Catalan na nakatanggap siya ng 9 na sobre na may tig 25,000 mula February hanggang December 2023 at tulad ng iba, idinaan kay Fajardo. That's paragraph 97. Ang pattern po dito, regular envelopes of cash allegedly originating from the Vice President coursed through a subordinate official. The complaint alleges, Madam Chair, if admitted as true, parte lang po ng mga allegations na yan under ground 3. I just chose the more important allegations. Madam Chair, if admitted as true, these allegations constitute bribery and corruption, which are expressly impeachable offenses under the Constitution. And ang nakasabi rin sa ground, sa third ground, it constitutes the constitutional offenses of culpable violation of the Constitution, betrayal of public trust, graft and corruption, and bribery. Yung mga acts na yon, yung pagbigay at pag-deliver ng mga envelopes to certain disbursing officers, special disbursing officers of the office ay bribery and corruption. Bakit naman po culpable violation of the Constitution? The constitutional oath requires faithful execution of the laws. Kung inaakusahang nanuhol sa kanyang mga tao ang isang cabinet-level official upang mapilitan silang baluktutin ang mga patakaran ng procurement o lumagda sa mga peking liquidation reports, hindi ito simpleng paglabag lamang sa isang batas, isa itong tahasang paglabag sa tamang proseso ng pamamahala ng pondo ng bayan. It reflects conscious and willful disregard of constitutional accountability. Para po sa akin, that satisfies the standard for culpable violation, a willful and knowing breach of constitutional duty. Bakit naman po betrayal of public trust? Kung ang panunuhol ay para maimpluwensyahan ang mga desisyon sa procurement at liquidation at ipagpapalagay na ito ay totoo, ang ganitong gawain ay sumisira sa integridad ng mga transaksyon ng pamahalaan, kumukompromiso sa mga internal control mechanisms, pagsusulong ng pansarili o pampolitikang interes bago ang integridad ng institusyon. That is the very essence of betrayal of public trust. At bakit naman po corruption and bribery? Malinaw po ito. The Constitution explicitly lists bribery, graft, and corruption as impeachable offenses, as grounds for impeachment. Sa ilalim ng Articles 210 at 211 ng Revised Penal Code at ng Republic Act number 3019, the Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act, sa pinakasimpleng paliwanag, ang bribery o panunuhol ay nagaganap kapag ang isang opisyal ng gobyerno ay nagbibigay, nag-aalok, o nagpapadaan ng anumang regalo o benepisyo upang maimpluwensyahan ang isang opisyal na aksyon. That is in relation to the specific acts here. Samantala, sa ilalim ng Section 3, Paragraph A ng RA 3019, may parusa sa sinumang mag-udyok o mang-impluwensya sa ibang opisyal upang gumawa ng mga gawaing labag sa mga alintuntunin na may kaugnayan sa kanilang tungkulin. I submit, Madam Chair, the complaint pleads specific ultimate facts as to ground number 3. Hindi basta-basta ang mga paratang dito. Tinutukoy mismo ng mga ito kung letter A, paano binigay yung mga sobre na may lamang cash. So yun ang pagbigay, sobre na may lamang cash. B, sino ang tumanggap? Matataas na opisyal. C, magkano ang tinanggap? Mula 12,000 hanggang 50,000 each. D, para saan ibinigay? Upang maimpluwensyahan ang procurement at liquidation. Ano ang ugnayan ng pera sa mga opisyal? Tinutukoy po mismo kung ano ang ugnayan ng pera sa mga opisyal na gawain. Kung totoo ang mga alegasyong ito, malinaw nung tumutugma ang mga ito sa mga legal na elemento ng bribery at corruption. Pagbibigay ng pera, may kinalaman sa opisyal na tungkulin, may layuning impluwensyahan ang opisyal na aksyon. At this threshold, that is sufficient. I so submit, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Madam Chair.
Now we will hear the comments and manifestations of the members on the second ground of the third impeachment complaint.
Third.
The Honorable Rodriguez,
It's not-
third ground.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Third
So-
ground of the third impeachment complaint.
So
To
once
be clear.
again, Madam Chair, under ground 3, the Committee of Justice acting as an impeachment prosecution is devoid of jurisdiction. The actuations of former Secretary Sara Duterte of the Department of Education is not within the jurisdiction and realm of an impeachment prosecution committee. Therefore, in this very, very clear case, there is allegation of culpable violation of the Constitution, and, this is not a ground for a Secretary of Education. These are grounds for the Vice President. Then, corruption, Republic Act 3019. It is a ground for the Vice President. It is a ground for filing in the Ombudsman under Section 3A or E of the Republic Act 3019, the Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act. Then, bribing officials. Madam Chair, this will fall under Article 210 on direct bribery of the revised penal code, again, cognizable not by this committee, but also in the Ombudsman if they are minded to file this against the former Secretary of Education. Therefore, there is no substance, but it is devoid of jurisdiction of this honorable committee. I submit, Madam Chair.
Thank you. So for the guidance of the justice members, it appears that there is a similarity of argument of the Honorable Rodriguez with respect to the second and the third ground. That is of the third impeachment complaint. The Honorable Chua.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Also, again, Madam Chair, I submit that my manifestation in the second ground is also the same in the third ground. Considering that what we are talking here is the Vice President in her capacity as Secretary of DepEd. Again, I would like to quote Section 3, Article 7 of the 1987 Constitution, second paragraph, which provides that the Vice President may be appointed as a member of the Cabinet. Such appointment requires no confirmation. Again, the position of Secretary of DepEd is concurrent to her position as Vice President. And that is the only position, or that is the only Cabinet Secretary who needs no confirmation from the Commission on Appointment. And therefore, Madam Chair, I would like to submit again na imposible po talaga na paghiwalayin itong dalawa. Otherwise, baka po may mga abuso po sa ganitong logic at sampahan po ang hindi lang po ang ating Vice Presidente. Yung mga susunod pa pong Vice Presidente na ayaw pong nilang isubject sa impeachment, sa tamang proseso, idadaan nila sa shortcut, kakasuhan sa ombudsman at lalabasan ng warrant at siya po ay poposasan hindi po bilang Vice Presidente kung hindi bilang miyembro ng kabinete. Again, thank you po.
Honorable
Madam Chair.
Chua, would you like to raise a motion for the adoption of our discussion in the second ground for the purpose of our deliberation
Yes, Madam
of the
Chair,
third
I
ground?
move that we adopt the discussion insofar as the second ground of the impeachment complaint, third impeachment complaint. So move, Madam Chair.
There is a motion to adopt the discussion in the second ground of the third impeachment complaint for the purpose of our deliberation on the third ground of the same third impeachment complaint. Do I hear a second? The same has been seconded. Is there any objection? Hearing none, the motion is hereby approved. Would you like to raise new matters in relation to the third ground, aside from the issue of jurisdiction? Because our discussion on the second ground has been adopted already for the purpose of our deliberation of the third ground. For the guidance of the justice members, please make sure that in continuing our deliberation on the third ground, make sure that your manifestation pertains to new matters other than the issue of jurisdiction. The Honorable Suntay.
Thank you, Madam Chair.